What's up? Welcome to my Pretty Little Liars Season 6 video. Yeah, this whole everything like this inspired themed entire. I just only dredged it out for this video for these videos, and since we're almost done this recap series, sad. Actually not sad because we do have that one season Perfection series to do, and there's also the original Sin series coming out, so it isn't the end of the franchise. But it is the end of the mainline show. Sad. Not I'm not sad due to this video, due to this season. Yeah, but let's just talk about this season. So this season starts off with Alice, with Arya, Emily, Hannah, Spencer, and Mona all escaping the dollhouse, and they think their lives can get back to normal. Hannah expresses her PTSD through anger and getting rid of all the wallpaper in her room. Yeah, that's how she expresses her. But A is still in this season. Yeah, of course he is, or she is. We have no, for the first half, they still know who he is, but they do have dollhouse flashbacks. But so when the girls are big, I'm just gonna skip through. We find out that they, yeah. So Allison was after the police found out that Mona wasn't dead. Allison was allowed out of prison. She was found not guilty because they found that tape, and they still think Andrew Campbell, quote quote, totally did the thing. But obviously, so we see a lot of police questioning him, and when the girls go to confront him about it, he says he wasn't the one that tried to kidnap them or kill them. He was just trying. The reason why he was doing all the shady stuff was to find out where Arya and the girls were. So, and he just leaves the season being bitter at the girl, saying about how they're gonna graduate while the rest of them are there. And Arya, he's like, and Spencer, and we know Hannah class says that he's gonna graduate. He's like, no, you guys are gonna graduate. You're gonna have kids. You're gonna get married. And he leaves this season being bitter at them. And we never see Andrew again as he goes on to bigger and better things. Not on the Fosters though. Goes on to bigger and better things, meaning we never know. But the actor does appear on The Flash. The actor does appear on The Big Bang Theory as the Flash in one episode. He's not the Flash. So anyway, yeah. So the girls find out that they're not allowed at their senior prom. So they decide to. So the girls tell Allie about Charles De Laurentiis. Remember Charles De Laurentiis, the person that they saw in the dollhouse. Spell letters named Charles. So Allie tries to do the responsible thing and confront her dad about who Charles De Laurentiis is. And he's like, there are no Charles De Laurentiis in their family. And then Spencer tries to tell Jason about it, but he's like, there was no Charles De Laurentiis. There was only his imaginary friend called Charlie, who his parents told him had to be sent away one day. So his parents are still terrible, even in this season. That's bad. So yeah, so when Alan keeps asking him, he finally that Charles De Laurentiis tried to kill Allie, and he was sent to Raleigh Sanitarium for all his life. But at 16, he committed suicide, or the S word, to himself, and they find his grave. so Allie tells Jason about one of the times that he tried to, when he was on the run from the hospital, he tried to go to Mrs. Dillon's. He tried to go to one of his grandma's houses, where he found, who did he find there? He found his mom, Jessica De Laurentiis. And when he tried to, and when he tried to get in, she kept saying no. There was no like, no. She kept telling him no, you can't go in there. And he tried to, and when he tried, she was like, no, Jason, don't go in there. And he thought that maybe his mom was hiding Charles in there. We found out who she was actually hiding who she was actually hiding in the 7th season, but for now, we're led to believe it was Charles. So, yeah. So then So let's talk about Sarah Harvey. And we met Sarah on in the dollhouse. She was the girl that we thought about was disappeared the night Allison, when they found Bethany's body. They thought it was Sarah Harvey, and you know, and she and Emily kind of have a mom-daughter relationship until they trick us and they kiss, and now they're just like, hey, let's go out, let's date each other. Yeah. And then in one of the episodes, Sarah Harvey meets one of her old friends. And this is one of the worst Emily moments of the show, because Sarah's friend is trying to tell her maybe she should go out of her house and she can stay there for a couple days, and Emily's like, no, she's not allowed to do that. She's more safer at their house with the whole police security thing, and Lieutenant Tanner won't let her out Rosewood. Emily, you're a complete other terrible person. So Emily does tell Sarah that the only reason why she said those things was because before they found out she was alive, her friend said some terrible things about her, and even Sarah says that she feels bad about the way that she did things, and Allison 2.0. And yeah, Allison 2.0. And isn't Sarah Harvey basically Allison 2.0? Because both Allison and Sarah Harvey were mean to their friends in the past, and have now come back after being thought dead with a changed personality. At least Allison was on the run. Sarah was just trapped by Charles. So then let's get to the mid-season finale. So because this is where things get good, guys. So after being lost, and after being banned from their senior prom, the girls decide to throw an anti-prom. Oh no, this is like the Fosters. And come on, show, you can just, there's a lot of shows when I compare it to the Fosters season 5, and I think this is the show's own fault why I compare it to the Fosters season 5. They came out apart, but I'm just saying there's a lot of moments where you compare it to the Fosters season 5. So they ran from their own prom, just like the Fosters. They throw their anti-prom, just like the Fosters. Yeah, just like the Fosters. And they throw their own prom. Yeah, they're banned from their prom, and they throw their anti-prom with the mom as chaperone, just like the Fosters with Tess and Steph. And this show is really making me compare it to the better show that's better than it. Even though they came out like two different, even though while this season was out, Fosters was on season 4. I'm just saying still. But anyway, they throw an anti-prom with the parents chaperoning, and our favorite moms decide to get drunk, and Jessica accidentally spills on Jason's dad being her husband, and her also being Jason's brother, and she's like, oops, she spilled. Yeah. So they think there's something going on at the De Laurentiis house. Yeah. So let's talk about also what happened with De Laurentiis. So Kenneth De Laurentiis gets a birthday card from Charles saying he's coming back for his birthday. Coming back for his birthday. And yeah. So what does he do? He takes Allison only and leaves Jason by himself to discover that card. What a terrible dad this guy is. He only takes one of his children, even though he knows that both of them are in danger. And yeah, he takes Allison only because this guy's a terrible parent. So yeah, Allison discovers the card and reports back to the girls. So back with the anti-prom, back with the anti-prom, the parents discover that De Laurentiis' house. It discovered something at De Laurentiis' house, and then they discover that some guy, they think it's Kenneth De Laurentiis, but no, that's the name of Alice's dad. It's some other guy. So yeah, back at the prom, back at the anti-prom, Allison is led into a trap by someone, and she says, I didn't know it was you," until she's led into a mysterious room. The girls are also led into an Iron Man I'm gonna take the Mike's Pretty Liar recap joke. The Iron Man Avengers Tower place, where it's just a random control room that we never mentioned, so where they can see everything, where Allie is, and she's like, you did something to them, and she's like, don't be so dramatic, Allie, to reveal that A is actually CC Drake. Yes, CC Drake is Charles, and yeah. And it's revealed that Jason and Mr. D aren't really dead. They're just in suspense. They're just in some sort of shock, just like Cece made it look like Allie was. Just like she did to Allie. That's like she did to Mona to make people think Mona was dead. Wow. So she gives her backstory on how one day she was trying to make Allie learn how to use the bathtub to make Allie not sad anymore, to cheer Allie up. But Mr. De Laurentiis thought this as him wanting to murder Allie, so he murdered Allison, so he sent him to Radley Sanitarium for the rest of his life. Yeah, wow, what a way to go, Miss De Laurentiis. Your child was trying to calm down your child, and you reward him by sending him to Radley for most of his life, and making everyone think he just decided to die. Decided he didn't want to live life anymore. This dude is a terrible father. So yeah, he made it worse than is a reboot professor you're telling him worse than this guy? Yes. But this guy's worse. So yeah. But then then it's revealed that Miss De Laurentiis would just buy clothes for Allie, and then buy duplicate clothes for Charles. Okay? So she would just buy clothes for Allie, and then buy the same set of them for Charles. Oh boy, does that sound creepy. So yeah. But then we learned that somehow, So then one night, Charles and Bethany Young, Bethany Young, are just hanging out together when Marion Kavanaugh comes around, and Charles is hiding, when Bethany pushes Marion Kavanaugh off the roof, killing her. Yeah, and Darren Wilden covered it up to make it look like she killed herself. And even though Darren Wilden's dead, he's still the worst character on this show. Darren Wilden made Toby think his mom didn't love him. So that's Spencer's saying. So then about how many years later we see Charles as a girl, and her name is Charlotte Lawrence now. So we see her, and she's a lot. So we see her out in we see her out in school. Here's the biggest plot hole in retconning ever. We see her in school, and this is how she meets Jason De Laurentiis for the first time. But she says she's never went to Rosewood High before. But in another season, it said that she did go to Rosewood, and that she was the drama queen and prom queen. And there's a picture of her. So did those two things, did someone make those up to make it look like she was a normal high school student? Did she take high school and this is just a retcon that the show decided to put into the show itself? We'll never find out. But then Cece reveals the flashback of her talking to Miss Del Laurentiis, and Miss Del Laurentiis can't believe that that's not his son turned daughter, that's Jason's girlfriend. So, and Allison's there too. So Allison has been friends with Allison made friends with her brother, her sister, the entire time. Wow. Okay. So then we see the events of Allison's supposed death, where Bethany took some of Cece's clothes and pretended to look like Cece, and then this is where Melissa saw Bethany, but she was already dead by that point, and saw that she was killed by Spencer. But who really did fake kill Allie? Cece was the one that hit Allie with that rock. And it was Cece who hit Allie with the rock, everybody. And Cece was made to blow. And Miss Delrant and Cece just crying, knowing that she killed her own sister. And then we see Darren Wilden. We see Jessica pay Darren Wilden to make it look like Cece didn't break out Radley at all. Okay, here's another plot point. Remember in season 1 how Darren Wilden was hired to investigate the murder of Allison? If he already knew who killed her, why was he there to investigate? Show, you just put yourself into a plot hole. Why would you do this to yourself, Show? Now you're just retconning yourself by making it look like. So yeah, there's two retcons here. The second retcon is that Darren Wilden was hired to investigate Allie's murder, but fake murder, you know what I'm talking about. But he knew who did it all along. Then why would he put himself to the case if he knew who killed her or fake killed her? This is just the show. So yeah. So then Cece reveals that Sarah Harvey was the black veil in his red coat and has been helping her the entire time. And they're like, sorry. And Emily's like, OMG. But Hannah's like, no, Cece could be lying. And also the main characters have emotional attachment to Cece's story. And also, they use it. Okay, so remember that scene where Cece met the girls for the first time? They use a terrible green screen effect when Cece turns around. And do you know how it's terrible? The girls' mouths aren't moving at all. We just hear them talking in the background. What a terrible green screen effect. You hear them talking in the we see they replay the scene from like season 2 or 3, and season 2 or 3. I think season 3, and then when out and then they make Allison, then they make Cece turn around with the girls' mouths not moving at all, but with them talking with their mouths not moving at all, but they're saying stuff with their mouths not moving at all. So yeah, but then they learn that someone's trying to blow up the Radley or wherever this place is. So they see Sarah Harvey. Emily punches her in the face. They'll get out of there. Cece's about to die, but then Alice isn't able to convince her not to. So then it's Labor Day weekend that day. Then we see the girls getting off to college. Boy, this is where the show second half. So yeah, starts. So then the girls come in as Allie's writing her name down as Miss Rollins. I guess she writes her name down as Miss Rollins. We see them say, "Allison, you're in danger," but we never find out who the danger is, as the next episode starts off 5 years later. So 5 years have passed. Allison decides to write a message to all our main characters telling them to come back. They do, and we see Mr. Rollins for the first time. So there have been some huge things happening in those 5 years. Arya owns a book company with her new boyfriend Liam. Hannah is engaged to an absolute jerk. She and Caleb has broken up, and she's engaged to some Australian guy named Jordan, who we don't care about because they're doing the Eliza thing, another Foster thing where they introduce a character for our main character, or one of our main characters to be engaged to, but we know nothing about it, him or her. So they're pointless characters. And Emily's dad, Spencer's mom, is running for state senator, with Caleb on the team, which means Spencer Love is now a thing, and his mom and Emily's dad has died. R.I.P. Wayne Fields. Oi, 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 Wayne Fields is dead. And Emily is no longer in high school, no longer in college, because her dad, died, so her grades kept slipping, and her mom has no idea. Her mom thinks she's in some sort of grad school, and her mom's dating new guys now. Yeah, that's basically the entire orchestra. And Allison calls the main group of girls together so they can finally have Cece, or now that they name her now Charlotte De Laurentiis, released from Radley. But the girls are kind of against this. And of course they would be. This person has been torturing them for years. Since season 3. And now Allison just forgets all that, and it's just like, oh, come back. Yeah. And also, Leslie Stone was in the first half of this season. She was Mona's friend Leslie Stone is in the first half of this season. She's Mona's friend who totally was friends with Mona, but yeah, and also Mike Montgomery is not on this show anymore. Yeah, they completely got rid of Mike as the main character because I'm guessing his actor was doing better stuff. They mentioned him some couple of times, but that's not the same with having him actually in the show itself. But back to the 5-year time jump. Back to the 5-year time jump arc. Yeah. back with the 5-year time jump. Back with the 5-year time jump. Emily's dad, R.I.P. So Allison tries to get all the main characters to write a letter to make sure Charlotte or Cece is released from Radley. I know I said this, but the girl's like, no, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna let the person who tortured them to be let back out. So then what happened? So then what is that so Arya is giving her statement for why Cece should be released from Radley, but then she starts flashbacking at the dollhouse and everything that Cece put them through. When she realizes, then she says no, she does want Cece to. She doesn't feel safe with Cece back out of Radley. But then as they're leaving, Lorenzo shows up and is like, guess what, guys? Cece's dead, and someone threw her from the bell tower. And they're like, she was thrown? That means she was murdered? That means this is a homicide investigation. Yeah. Wow. So you introduce your villain, you introduce A, and then you kill the A off in the next episode 5 years later. Wow, show, you got some game. So that's basically, yeah. So we learned that Toby and Spencer also broke up, and Spencer's in some sort of dating thing with being friends with Caleb, and Toby has a new girlfriend named Yvonne. So yeah, as I said, the whole Caleb relationship is kind of weird. Like, they don't want to date each other, but yeah, even in one episode, Spencer does ask Hannah if it'd be okay if she dated Caleb, if she had feelings for Caleb, and she's like, nah, she doesn't. And Melissa says in that episode how Spencer does like stealing from other people's cards. You know? Ren, Ian, now Caleb, Spencer, get your own boyfriend. Stop dating other people's. So yeah, so there's it's kind of, this season's kind of weird. This season's kind of weird also. It's also bad, but it's also weird that I thought I'd be able to like condense this, as I always am. So condense this into like one recap, as I always am, as I always do. Got Gordon. Yeah. So Ari has a new boyfriend named Liam, and they're kind of weird because she also has feelings for Ezra, but his girlfriend, Nicole Gordon, is gone. She's missing. Yeah, weird that they call her Nicole Jordan or Johnson in one episode. The show dislikes the character name. Yeah. Yeah. The show dislikes it. So yeah. So one episode, Arya decides that her dad had something to do with Charlotte's murder. But no, he just wanted to get back with Ella. And here's the thing. Ezra reveals, then I'm gonna have my point here. Then Ezra reveals the night that he and Arya left the hotel, people think they killed Charlotte, but no, they didn't. He actually saw he actually saw Arya's parents, and they told Ezra to keep it a secret from Arya. So the person The person who they didn't trust in season 2, they immediately trust now. Yeah, and as Arya also reveals that she saw her dad and her mom fighting over her mom going to see Cece, and her dad said that he wouldn't let Cece out over his dead body, which also makes which also made Arya kind of suspicious that he killed Cece, but he didn't. And also, Mike's not in the show because they tried to make an excuse for him not to be in the show by saying he wouldn't approve of them getting back together. That's the worst show. Like, why do you think he wouldn't approve of you two getting back together? That's all he wanted. He just wanted his family back. And now they just don't want him to show that, so they have to say that he didn't want it. He didn't want it. That's what they say. He doesn't even show up because they say he didn't want it. What a terrible way to take out this character. What a terrible way to take out a long-running character like Mike. To say he just didn't want them back together. Well, show, you really made me lose respect for you. I already lost respect for you during this season, but wow. You made a character that really wanted his parents back together, not want to show up, because you had to write yourself into a hole because the actor didn't want to come back, so you had to just say that he didn't want his parents back together. But that also a plot hole because the whole reason why he was acting out is because his parents were divorced. And why wouldn't he want them together? That's the whole reason why he acted out in the beginning and started stealing, because he was trying to cope with his parents' divorce. And now you don't want him to show, so you're trying to write him as he wouldn't approve of their relationship again. Wow. This is the whole reason why he didn't want it. This is the whole reason why he stole in the first place. Was because Mike was trying to cope with the divorce of his parents. But now you're trying to write him out of the show by saying he didn't want to, that he couldn't support them as a couple again. Oh, show. Oh, Pretty Little Liars. You made me lose respect for you again. Lost respect. Yeah. You made me lose respect for you. Yeah. So, as I said before, Spencer's mom is running for state senator, and her opponents are the family of Yvonne. Yeah, and Mona is helping out Yvonne's family because Mona is absolutely an absolute worst character. Bitch. She's worst. She's a bitch. I'm gonna say it. Mona Vanderwall is the worst character in. I don't swear usually. I don't say the B word usually, but I started using it and it felt good. So I'm gonna keep using it. Bitch, Mona. Mona's the worst. I don't know why anyone likes this character. But anyway, back to the plot. Yeah. So on the night of Ella and Byron getting married, who shows up at the door? Allison, and she's like Arya, and Rowan's is like Arya. Allison told me that you now have a marriage license. So can you please marry them? And guess what? They get married off screen because they can't show us on screen because that's how the episode ends, with them getting married in the next episode showing us that they got married. Okay. And then during the Ella and Byron, someone wrote table cards saying, bring the person, the killer of Charlotte's killer, or Cece's killer. So, yeah, and also, Sarah Harvey, what the crap is up with her? She went from being Emily's girlfriend, sort of, to now just watching her anywhere she goes. She makes like a thing of when Emily punched her in the face, she got hit with electricity, which burned her hands off, and that's why she wears gloves, and she didn't, and then when everyone tried to help her, she didn't want anyone's help. Yeah, what's the point of her character now? Tell me, show. What is the point of Sarah Harvey? I get it in the beginning, in the half of the season, that she only existed to be friends with Emily, but what is her existence now? She has nothing to do with the plot anymore. She's just there to be there because the show couldn't make any character that to follow watch our main characters everywhere. So who is it? The character that's irrelevant. Sarah Harvey. Sarah Harvey is an irrelevant character now because she has nothing to do with the show. Why she is in this show anymore? Yeah. So Emily's mom discovers that Emily discovers that Emily or Emily-san is trying to lie to her about in being in grad school because Pam is kind of mad about this thing. I don't think we ever see Pam again after this scene, so bye, Nia people. See you on The Fosters. You were a 6-season character, so bye, Nia peoples. See you on The Fosters. If you want me to recap The Fosters, I will, because I enjoy that show. The show's fantastic. And at least that show didn't go on for 7 seasons. That show ended with 5 seasons. Plus a spin-off show, which I don't watch because I just find it okay. Not that great, but it's okay. I found it okay. I realized the Fosters spin-off Good Trouble is okay. I found The Fosters very more entertaining. But so yeah. Emily confronts Sarah about why she's confronting her and why she lied at the judge's stand about Cece, and then Sarah just says about how Emily's guilty, and then Emily says, "What does she have to be guilty about?" And that reminded me of another Foster's moment. This season. Yeah, what do you have to be? I would love Sarah. I would love that Emily say, what does she feel? What does she have to feel guilty about? I think what Matt did to Mariana, but totally that did not happen. Yeah, she said she's not guilty. So she said she's not guilty. So yeah. So what also happens with Allison this season? She starts seeing. So Allison after the wedding tripped. Allison after her wedding to Mr. Rollins, she tripped and is now in the hospital. And because of that tripping, she now sees dead people. She imagines her mom in the hospital. She imagines seeing Darren Wilden everywhere. And then she runs into a church where she tells Emily that she doesn't know what's real anymore. So she's like, Emily, take her to a psychiatric hospital. So that's where Allison is now, in a psychiatric hospital. But prior to that, Emily was trying to donate her eggs to get other people pregnant. But when she learns that the people that she was going to donate to are pregnant, she doesn't need them. So then what happens is that Emily loses her eggs because someone froze them over and now they're gone. So yeah. So let me get more Jordan scenes where I'm like, can this guy please go already? I'm already done with him because we know. I'm going to say why I dislike Jordan as a character. I'm going to make it known why I do not like Jordan as a character. And why I didn't like Eliza from the Fosters as a character. And I made this in my Fosters review, which you probably watch. 1, we don't know about him. 2, we're just meant to like him when we know nothing about his character and why he likes Hannah that much. We just know that he does. That's it. We just know that he does. We know that they love each other and that they met at some point, but we don't know where and why. We're meant to like this guy when we know nothing about him and why he loves Hannah. We're just meant to say, oh, they're married, great, let's move on. But we know nothing about this guy, and that's why he's my least favorite character in this show. I'm putting him on next to Mona and Ezra. I don't like this guy. He's the worst. Hannah should choose someone better. I'm not saying I don't like Australians. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying this guy is the worst character. And I would rather see Hannah be with someone who we know more about than a guy that we just met in a 5-year time jump. That's why we don't like this guy. Because we know nothing about him. Yeah. So someone leaks a video of Yvonne being pregnant in high school and they totally think it's Spencer. Yeah, but Caleb takes the blame, and oh boy, does that make Toby mad at Caleb. Because when the defense team tells him, he cannot believe what he's hearing. He's like, he knows this guy. He knows Caleb. He knows Caleb would never do this. But obviously Caleb tells him they did it. They get into a fight. And yeah, I first thought it was Mona who did this and Spencer does something too. But Spencer totally confronts Mona about this, and Mona tells her no, she did not do this, because Mona was on the team the entire time, and how could she have done this? And then they later connect it to being Uber A. That's the new A. They call it Uber A, which I'm going to probably make a car joke, because I am. Does this A drive an Uber? Because why would they be calling it Uber A if it doesn't drive a car? Yeah, so Uber A tries to run Emily over. She's thinking it's Sarah. So the whole season is about Emily thinking about Sarah Harvey being the new A. Also, what do I like about this season? One only thing I do like is that the text messages appear with the character that's seeing them. So they show the text message next to the character. Not them just picking up the phone, seeing the text message. The text message appears near the character, being Spencer, or any of the characters. So back with the whole meet this looking Jordan because it's a terrible character thing. And the leak thing. The leak causes when Caleb announces to it that he did it, Mrs. Hastings, being a terrible person, kicks him off the team and tells him to get out. So he decides to move in with the Marins, but Ashley's all on board with this. But who's not? Hannah, because Ashley tells Hannah about this, and Hannah just takes this up as her not liking her liking Caleb better than Jordan because why? I don't know. Hannah takes this as her liking her new fiance, her ex-boyfriend better than her fiance, and I don't get why she takes this as it. I get it. She's inviting her ex-boyfriend to live with them. Even Ashley, that she invited them over bunches of time, and she knows Caleb more than Jordan. And I agree, Jordan's the worst, and I agree with her also this is basically the show telling us that this is basically me telling the show that even though I don't write this, I never wrote this show or this episode, and I was 17 and the characters are 21 to 30, but I'm just saying that's a joke about me writing the show. But I'm just saying about this whole thing. The whole thing is that Caleb is totally more of a more interesting character than Jordan is, because Caleb's been there from the beginning. Jordan was introduced in this season as Hannah's fiance, and we're meant to like this guy, knowing that we know nothing about him. Yeah, we know nothing about this guy. We're meant to like him. What's the point of liking this guy when we know nothing about him? Let me say it again. No, we know nothing about the We know nothing about the character. See, 5 words. We know nothing about the character. We know nothing about this guy. How are we supposed to like him? He's just Hannah's fiance, and that's what they ride with. And she and Caleb kiss and sleep together, meaning that she's cheated on her fiance with Caleb, which I like because I don't like Jordan. So crap you, Jordan. I prefer I prefer Caleb over you. I prefer Caleb over Spaleb. Spoby is a better relationship. I know I'm very negative towards these type this season, which I've said the other season were great. But even I thought I could give this season a chance. I thought I could give this season a chance and say that it was pretty good. But no, it's still a terrible season. It's pretty good, but still bad. It's bad. It's a bad season. I still don't like it. I am done. Not with this recap because we still have more stuff to recap. But I'm done with this season. This season is garbage. This season is terrible. And I like the scenes where they in this season where they show Spencer without her bangs because her bangs look terrible. It's like they just either those were Troy and Balsaro's real bangs, or they just gave her a wig to put on. I have no idea. That's the one thing we're gonna find out. Well, because if that's real, then I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy the bangs. I didn't buy it. I said I think I liked Spencer without them in the first 5 seasons better than her with them. But back to the show. Allison, so Jason and her dad are not in this season because I'm guessing they're at the Kirasimi group, and yeah, the same guys that were, yeah, and also the rally has been shut down and turned into the Rally Centaurum has been shut down and turned into the Rally, a hotel, and who owns it? Hannah's mom, Ashley. Yeah, they finally tear down that psychiatric ward and turned it into a hotel. That's why Allison went to a different psych ward because the original one was teared down and turned into a hotel run by Miss Marin. So yeah, so then in one episode, Hannah reveals to the gang that she, believably, that the writers want us to believe this, that she, quote unquote, killed Cece with a candlestick and shoved it in her neck, then threw off the bell tower. Really? The show really wants us to buy this? I don't buy it. I don't buy this. I really don't. I don't buy that Hannah would just kill someone. If they showed it from the beginning that she was able to kill someone, I'd buy it. But nah. Her just saying that she killed someone, it's just like, really? Hannah can kill people now? I don't buy it. And then they have a plan to give herself to the new A, because remember, the new A is looking for Charlotte's killer. And yeah, and then when the girls go looking for the hotel, they learned that they learned that Hannah is gone. Boom, boom, boom. We also learned that Dr. Rollins is evil and working with Jessica De Laurentiis' sister, aka Hannah's, and he also has an Australian accent, because it seems like everyone in the show has accents. Yeah, we learned that Mr. Rollins doesn't really love Allison at all. He only married her to get her half of a contract to the Karasimi group, and now he has 51% of that group. So we learned that this dude is really evil and he doesn't really love Allison at all, and he was just using her to get the group, to get the Karasimi group. And then the girls get a text from a new AD. Yes, that's the name. AD. And they're like, who's AD? Yeah, we went from A to now AD. Wow, this show and its names. I can't believe we went from the name of A to just AD. Wow. I can't believe we just went from A to AD. How did we go from that? How did we go from A to AD? How's that even happen? How does that even happen, show? Come on, show. How does that even happen? We went from A to AD. And that's kind of the season, where the season leaves off. Dr. Rollins is evil. He works for Dr. Rollins is evil now. He has some British accent or Australian accent. Kayla, as I said before, Hannah cheated on her fiance with Caleb, which I'm glad because that dude is Jordan is terrible. I know that you should never cheat on someone with your ex, but I'm just saying, if in this show, if you know nothing about character, then I prefer the ex relationship. We learned why they broke up. We learned that why Spela broke up. We know why Halo broke up. Because Hannah moving, and Hannah also quits her job with her terrible employee of a boss who just hires another assistant and then says, hey, you want your job back? I'll just make you second assistant. Why would you hire someone, then tell your person that you're still with you, that that you're gonna hire them back as the second person to the person you just hired? Terrible boss. Terrible boss. But anyway, that was season 6. I can say it's a pretty bad season. It had some good moments. It had some bad moments. I can just say I did not like the season. Yvonne is now mad at Toby because Toby chose to help Spencer rather than be with her. And now Yvonne was like, hey, he doesn't want to be the one she doesn't want to be the one that tells Toby to choose her instead of Spencer. And when he tries to call her, she's too mad at him to leave. And he was even going to marry her, so it must be a good relationship. Good for you, Toby. Good for you. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time when we recap the final season of the show. That wasn't me doing the shush thing. That was me saying, I hope that I can change my mind season 7 again, because sometimes I change my mind. But this season, it's still bad. It was a 20 episode run, and next season is also a 20 episode run. So, yeah, 20 episodes for both seasons. 20 episodes. The first season is 22 episodes, the second season is 25, the third season is 24, third season is 24, and 24, 24, 25, and now 20. Yeah, 20, 25, 22, 25, 20, 24, 24, and 25, and now 20, and now 20, and then 20 for the last season. Next season. How do we do your season caroling? But anyway, that's it. That's this video, and I'll see you next time for some more Pretty Little Liars. Shh.